very good day to all of you. Thank you for watching another episode on Real Estate Reality, and my pleasure to welcome Mr. Riaz and Mr. Varun, mortgage specialist and real estate specialist. So thank you again, gentlemen, for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
All right, so on this episode, I want to focus more on, the buzz is going on with the mortgage renewals and all that. But before that, recently, what sort of clients are y'all expecting? The people who want to renew their mortgages, or people who new home buyers, or what is it?
I'm seeing pretty much all kind of buyers coming in right now. But what I would say, the increase of the first-time home buyers has gone up compared to the past. The reason being, in the previous episode we discussed, condo prices has come down and there's a lot of inventory. The prices has dropped. So I'm seeing increase in inquiries coming from the first-time home buyers. And also, to the point, I can agree where that's coming from. All the first-time home buyers were wanting to settle into the house, but Riaz brought up an interesting point on the previous episode. Now people are buying two-bedroom condos, so they're trying to get into the market. And with the number of inventory, months of inventory we have in the condo market, so most of the first, it's a big increase in the transaction on the first-time home buyers compared to few years back.
Okay.
And also seeing upgrades as well. A lot of people are taking this as an opportunity to upgrade their home, selling their existing home and moving into the home as well. And also we are seeing a lot of renewals coming up. It was a golden days, 21, 22, rates are less than 2%. Now rates are over 4%. Like, I know we went through almost 6%, but we are in a much better spot. So we are over 4% right now, high threes to low fours right now in the interest rate. That's one challenging part we are dealing with, is a payment shock. So when you see these payments, when you see these rates, it's not just about the mortgage. It's about your lifestyle as well. So over the last few years, these homeowners could have took a line of credit by investing property. So their line of credit has gone up. They took the money to put into a condo or something else. So they had to make the payment on that. Or they have a car loan. The car loans were at 1.99, now it's 7.99. Or 0% is 6.99. So car payments has gone up. Gas prices has gone up. So that's mean cost of living has gone up. So they are not only going to face challenges with the mortgage payment only, overall financials of the home carrying cost as well. So what that means is the cash flow. I strongly believe in cash flow. Cash flow is king. More than appreciation, the low interest rate, cash flow is king. And some of them took second mortgages to keep up the first mortgages.
Yeah.
So all these are getting very complicated. So that's a part we are having a challenge of navigating our clients through. So house prices were very high, interest rate was so low, cash flow was so good. 4 or 5 years later, house prices are not there, the rates are high, cash flow is tight, the cost of living has gone up.
Wow.
So how do you manage the cash flow?
Exactly.
That's $1 million question. So we come up with a strategy to help our clients to consolidate the debts, put them all into one. Some of them are high interest debts, credit cards, line of credits, second mortgages if you have something. So we try to do that. And some of them we just come up with, okay, you have a lot of equity in a home. Why don't we take some money out and let's renovate the basement, let's rent it out. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have extra $1,500 to $2,000 additional income comes in. So it's literally a customized plan based on everyone's financial situation. I'm sure it's not a same plan for everyone. We have to really sit down and drill it down and see how we can help you to get through that. And when the objection comes, oh, I don't want to put my credit card into my mortgage. Then we need to educate them. You're paying 19%, you're paying 4%, you're still saving 15%, and you are saving $1,000, $2,000 on the cash flow. We had to get them to visualize it. So if we cannot help them, then we go back to the realtor and say, hey, we have a problem with this client, and I think they are having a tough time keeping up the payment. You may want to touch base to kind of rearrange their lifestyle. That's where the realtors comes in. So I'll let you to take it from.
And also we have to think beyond the
property.
Say for example, we know for a fact there are some mortgages that are coming up for renewal. and their monthly payments may be about $500 to $800 more than what it used to be. Even if they can pay that, if there are retirees, how are they going to pay? Or they might be used to taking 2 vacations with the family every year, but now they may have to trim it down to 1. Or they say, you know what, these are no-nos, we just want to keep them. Then we can always explore the possibility of creating an extra suite or a basement apartments, because there is a grant from the government, not a grant, it's a subsidized interest rate, where you can borrow up to $80,000 to make up extra dwelling in the basement, and at an interest rate of 2.5% and amortized over a 50-year period. So that would give you additional income of 900 to 1,000, which would compensate for the extra amount that you have to pay. So there are creative ways of looking at it, because this is something you can't hide away from. You have to face it. We are never ever going to have those low interest rates for a long time. It may happen, but after a long time. But the average rate of, I basically think in about 6 months' time, probably, or by the end of this year, our variable rates will be around 3.5%, and probably the fixed would be around maybe 3.5 to 4%. That's where we are. That's where we are going to stick. And we have to come up with creative ways of doing it, smart sizing, upsizing. As a last resort, if you have to sell, you have to sell, but that should be the last resort.
Okay.
But sometimes it's okay to sell at your own cost than it's being forced to sell by the lenders.
Correct. So just the same question to me, what I am seeing in my portfolio of clients, when I say me and my son, what we are seeing is this year we are seeing and we are having a lot of success with a lot of first-time home buyers. Right? That could be for 2 reasons. Maybe on one side they are feeling it, this is a nice time to get into the housing market because the prices are slightly lower than what it used to be, and the rates are also coming down. Or on the other hand, it could be like in our practice for the last 2 years, we said, don't buy, don't sell homes. It's not the time to sell or buy. And now we are saying it's a good time for first-time home buyers to buy. So maybe that, I wouldn't know what that is, but we would see I would say about 75% of our clients, a high proportion, is first-time home buyers who are eager, willing, and can. And also, say one thing very important with them is first-time home buyers are nervous.
Yeah.
Right? However, they would have bought many homes in their country, but here is the first home. When you go in for your first home to buy, and when you say you are paying $700,000 on the house and you are putting $35,000 down payment, and tomorrow it's done and it's firm, no condition, no nothing, they're scared. Now we got enough inventory. There is, this month alone, we have about 2,560 freehold houses to choose from. There's a wider inventory. You can pick and choose which house you want. You can say, I need 5 days finance condition where you're negotiating tonight, you're paying $35,000 deposit tomorrow, you're going to Varun and saying, Varun, here are the documents, give me approval within the next 5 days. And when he gives the approval, we are saying, yes, you're firm, we bought it. The mental health of mental peace of that individual as a first-time home buyer is amazing, right? But wait for another 4 months. We are going into the market. We are competing with less stocks inventory in the market. And also when we offer, the people are going to say, 5-year conditions, sorry, no. Maybe 3, maybe no conditions. And maybe we are going in for multiple offers. So people know this, people realize that. That's the reason they're stepping up and willing to come forward. Of course, as far as you can pay your mortgage for 3 to 5 years, you're good enough to buy.
Yeah.
Not anything else. The second type of clients that we are looking at here now is people who already have a semi-detached home or a small detached home, about 1,500 square feet, smaller ones, which are really appreciated. Or even in the last 1 year when the prices came down, it came down only a little. But even if they sell it, they're selling it at a reasonable price, not a huge decline. And they're buying a home which is far more expensive, and it has come down in price more.
Right.
So case in point, if you're looking at 800,000 house, a house that was 800,000 in 2022 probably could be bought today for about 700,000. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? But on the other hand, now a house that was 1.5 million in 2022 could be bought for 1,250,000 now. Right? Maybe he's losing about 100,000 here, but he's gaining up on 250,000 by moving into that house.
Okay.
Right? And the best part, when it comes to outflow, Varun might be able to vouch for this, when it comes to monthly expenses, even in this high interest rate environment, the 1.2 million house, his net expense could be less than the small home because he has a basement that he can rent out.
Absolutely. That's very true. That's almost $1,500, $2,000 extra income coming in. Right in today's market, average every 100,000 costs you about $500. So if you're getting a $200,000 income coming in, that's almost equal to paying a $200,000 mortgage. So $400,000 mortgage.
Correct.
Okay. So coming back to the question of, mortgage renewals, people are aware that this is happening, right?
Absolutely.
And what advice can you all give in order to manage this? I think this has something to do with cash flow management. What can we tell them right now to be prepared?
Truthful to yourself and start looking for an answer ahead of time. Don't wait till the last minute. Your 1.89 is going to run out. We know the timeline. But come up with a solution how you can replace the 1.89 and keep up the same payment. Talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your bank, talk to your realtor and your financial planners and put an action plan together. Don't wait till the last minute.
Okay. Let's just hope that, they will not have to come into the worst case scenario of selling the property.
Say, Shadali, this is why I look at, home buying is not a straightforward thing where you look at statistics, talk things, and where the market is and do things. I personally now practice, and even Varun, we personally would like to get to know that person. The more we know about that person, more we can advise, more we can speak to them. Sometimes things that are very personal to them. But we have to speak because we have gone through this journey on our own as well as for many people, whereas a first-time person is just getting into it. Sometimes you might be someone who is working in a very risky environment. Risky environment means your job is not too sure because the tariffs and all that's happening up. But you have enough saved up. But we might advise you. I might advise you, and you might check with Varun later on, where he's a financial advisor, where rather than putting 20%, put 10% down payment.
And keep a buffer.
If you have 150,000, just put only 75,000 as down payment. Keep the other 75,000 in the bank in the savings account, which is also giving you a good yield anyways. And in case if there is any turbulence in one of the people losing a job, you can pay 2 years of mortgage with the money in the bank.
But isn't it compulsory to pay the full amount of down payment?
Depends on whether you can qualify. Instead of qualifying with a 20% down.
Say for example, the reason is you can buy a 500,000 home, ideally with 20%, 100,000, or with 25,000.
Depends on what you can qualify.
Based on the qualifications. Right? So look at all those options, and that's what I say. That's why we have been tracking well with our first-time home buyers, because this is not exactly what the mainstream advice that can be given. But you have to be street smart, look at what's happening, and youngsters who come in, they are very eager to buy expensive home because they are comfortable today. But in 2 years, if they have a child, one of the spouses are going on mat leave.
Yes.
The income is dropping. How do you manage? So that's a total different. It is very personal buying a home.
Exactly.
And it has to be customized, and you need to understand it.
Understood. So thank you again. I think we got a very good idea about the type of clients that you all are getting these days and about mortgage renewals. So now I'm going to move into public questions and some of the questions that you all have sent us in, and these are going to be anonymous. Again, it's not related to today's discussion, but these are public questions that we have received so far. This is actually from a retired couple in Hamilton. So we are retired and mortgage free, but we are thinking about downsizing and maybe taking out a small mortgage on a bungalow. Can older Canadians still qualify for mortgage, and what's different for retirees?
Great question. We're seeing a lot of these inquiries coming in right now. Yes, if you're having a pension income, you can definitely qualify for a mortgage. And also, you may have some help from the family who can help you to co-sign to get qualified for a mortgage. That's if you are okay to manage the monthly payment, because when you are retired, you are on a limited income.
Yeah.
So now is one of the most popular product right now there for retirees and older Canadians is reverse mortgages. That's something we can talk in detail, but what is very, very similar to the mortgage on a very high level.
Some call it chip mortgage.
Chip mortgage. Someone may think it's a chip mortgage. A lot of people are taking advantage of that. So let's say, for example, as a retiree, you want to sell the house and you want to give some gift to your kids or grandkids, and you're okay to take the mortgage. You don't want to make a payment. This could come as an option. So how the reverse mortgages works is, you put a mortgage on the property, you don't make any monthly payment, interest accumulates. We can talk about this on another episode. Seems like this is coming, and this is a new thing for older Canadians to make the I wouldn't say right sizing. What is the special word for that? They call it right now, not right sizing.
Smart sizing.
Not a downsizing. Right sizing. Right sizing. So it make them pretty much they don't need to make a mortgage payment, but they can still have a mortgage on it. But the interest accumulates, so it helps them with the cash flow. When they're on a limited income, that could be one of the options. Or you can go to your bank and talk to them and say if you can qualify for a mortgage with a pension income.
So for them, downsizing is a good idea?
That's a very broad question. Depends on their.
So it's a personal question based on each individual. Now, for example, if this couple is living in a bungalow house, whether she lives in a bungalow house or a large spacious condominium, may not make a big difference because she is living on a flat surface kind of. But on the other hand, if she is living now in a townhouse and she is close to retirement age, it's high time, it's very comfortable on the knees and the legs if you're in a condominium where you don't have steps and staircases to climb. That's one way of looking at it. And I have another scenario that I'm looking at, because this is something that I really preach on, is that if you look at from 1968 to 2024, average home prices appreciated monthly by 7%. In other words, your wealth grew by 7%. Right. If you have a paid off home, your wealth is growing at 7%. In the same period, the Canadian government printed money, or M2, 8%, 8.1%, which meant your money supply kept on increasing and inflation was created. In other words, you are losing 1% of wealth every year. Wealth gain is 7%, wealth loss is 8%. So, is it the right thing to have a paid off home? Is another question. But then, how do you do that? You have to speak to your financial planner, where only that person will know your background, your children, whether you can help them and do things, or chip mortgage, what comes into play.
Yeah, but
so yeah, the question was like they were planning to downsize into a bungalow. So basically, they are living in something much bigger than a bungalow. So I hope, and there are a couple in Hamilton also. The location will not make a difference, right?
It may be for the reverse mortgages, for the chip mortgages, but not over.
No, but Hamilton is a beautiful place. It's really nice. We had 2 transactions this year already done. I would say we had 3 in the last 6 months in Hamilton. It's a beautiful place, right? Now, only advice that I would say, if you are selling a big one and moving into a small one, that is good. But because most of the small properties are in new developments. Right. Now, right? And most of the new developments are places where new immigrants or young people go and buy in. And what you're finding is more of the small children, the families with small 2-year, 3-year or 4-year-olds who are there, right? And now as seniors, how comfortable are they to move into one of these localities and have a different generation where they won't be coming across another senior at all in the evenings?
Right.
Except the parents.
Yeah, it's their children and parents, right?
Yeah.
So what your age group is, you're in a 65-year-old category, but all your neighbors are in the 30 category
Yeah.
or the 40 category.
It's a lifestyle.
So again, like I told you, this is all to do with lifestyle and personal discussions, and one solution doesn't fit everybody.
Well, I hope they were able to answer some part of your questions. Again, as Mr. Riaz said, these are personal questions that you need to give more clarity on. If you can't send us the questions in, please, you can message them personally and give your questions to them as well. Again, thank you. We'll be answering more questions on the next episode. This is all we have for this episode. Thank you again for watching Real Estate Reality. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.